Sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free. I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's plan.
Live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, Pizza Friday, right here on a Friday, Real America's Voice and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio. Live from Studio 6B. Glad you're in. Slick's here. He's going to do sports. Slickster, how are you?
Doing good, Big D. What's going on?
How was your day?
Good day today. Good, quick day, but good.
Very good. Very good. Kevin Downey Jr. is here. Mr. Downey Jr., welcome back to the show. We always love when you join us. How are you?
Thank you, sir. Great to be back. I can't complain. Life's good. Got a new piece up at PJ Media.
Oh, really? What's this about?
This is about how the left is getting clown slapped by literally Hitler, but they're not changing their tactics. They're going to the same Marxist playbook they've always gone to, and is blowing up in their face hysterically. This whole week was just a clown fest.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it last night. I want to talk a little bit more about it tonight, just to kind of put a wrap on the week. But so what is the basis of your piece about?
It's about how Trump is killing it. He's never been more popular. He's hitting them with these 80-20 topics, and they're taking the bait every time. And just when you think they can't be clown themselves more, you see someone like Elizabeth Warren scrolling on her phone at Trump's speech while they're honoring a child with cancer. She can't be bothered. She can't be bothered to stand up for that. Then they, of course, before that they kicked out Al Green, and then
yeah,
and then the next day when you go, they can't possibly go any lower. Al Green, who's worth $10 million, gets censured, slap on the wrist, and then he's got this chorus singing, "We shall overcome," for a man worth $10 billion. Al Green. This is the, you know what? Every time I think they can't get any dumber, they go, shut up, KDJ, watch this. And then they do something and just levels of stupidity going up. I don't see that this, I firmly believe that the Democratic Party may actually self-immolate and do themselves irreparable harm if they haven't already.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it all week. I mean, what they did on the article last night from the guy in the New York Post, he's a Democrat from New York City, I think from Queens, I think it said. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, that piece was right on the money, saying, I mean, if they can't stand for a kid with cancer, and they can't stand for a mom whose daughter was killed from an illegal immigrant, and they can't stand for a girl who lost her ability to play sports because she has a traumatic brain injury because she got smacked so hard with a volleyball from a guy who said he was a girl and playing volleyball against her. They can't stand for all of these just human moments. Like, what are they doing? I mean, other than just descending into total madness.
Yep, and dressing all in pink to say, we support women, 24 hours after saying, we support trans and Bob Dudettes beating the potato salad out of women in sports. It doesn't work. It's embarrassing. People see it now. People see it. I was talking to a friend, and the first time around, he didn't vote for Trump. He didn't like him. Second time around, he said, I voted for him here in New York, knowing full well he wasn't going to take the state. I just wanted him to rack up the popular vote. And I said, what turned you? What was the red pill? And he said, I realized that the media is lying about so much. And then when I realized that, he said, I went back to look at other things they're lying about. And he just found a mountain. And it's the usual lies, Trump said to take horse goo for COVID, or Trump said there are good Nazis and whatnot. He said, I bought this. Right. I bought this because all the right news sources that he had known his whole life were saying it.
Yeah. There's a piece by Fletch Daniels in the American Thinker just to put a point on this whole week with the Democrats after the piece last night from the Post. And I was watching, who was it today? Sandra Smith had on our guy, friend of the show, Josh Hammer, along with some guy who's a lefty talking head. I can't think of his name right now. But I was, he said, I mean, not to the degree the guy in the Post did, but he said, I mean, the party is really missing the boat here. Big time. And as I said on the night of the speech, there's so much legitimate to talk about in the country. There's so many legitimate things that we could discuss, left, right, argue about, try to come up with the best way. But they're unwilling to not even unwilling to, they just can't even make arguments on these topics because they've gone just so far off the deep end on all of their positions on all of these things. There's no discussion really to even be had. There's no crossfire moment, where we had crossfire used to be on CNN. You have a left and a right, or like Hannity and Combs. We're so far gone from that, mainly on their side. Yeah. There's so very few on the left that I listen to and think, that's somebody you could have on the show even. That's how I think about it. Yeah. Like, could I have that person on the show and have a reasonable conversation with them? There's so very few of them I see on TV that I think fit the bill.
You know what? I tried to get Pinko on my radio show, which you should all be listening to. And the guy I found, I thought, I'll use this guy. He goes, all right, so are we allowed to talk about the fake assassination attempt in Butler? And I said, you're kidding me. He goes, oh, you didn't believe that, did you, KDJ?
Yeah.
How come he doesn't have any damage to his ear? Well, no, you can't fake that. I mean, I guess you could fake anything, but there are people who are hit. One guy died.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah. And no, that wasn't real. That wasn't real. He used a squib, a Hollywood squib, because look how he grabs his ear and he pinches the squib and blood comes out. He believes this.
Like it's a WWE deal.
Yeah.
Let him stand up there and take that shot. Tell me what fake it was.
It's really just crazy.
That's nuts.
So Fletch Daniels says the Democrat Party has descended into madness for anyone who doubted that. Or before the Tuesday night State of the Union, the Democrats went into overdrive to hammer the message home that they are, in fact, out of their mind. When you strip away all the platitudes around one of America's two main political parties, what you're left with is just what you were just saying, KDJ, anti-woman, anti-American, anti-peace, and most of all, anti-reality.
Yeah.
That's where they are. Earlier this week, in a truly stunning moment, every Democrat senator voted against protecting women in sports, choosing the world's worst hill to die on. This lopsided issue unites all sane people. Men should not be allowed to compete in women's sports, period.
Yeah.
It's hard to understand how foolish the Democrat opposition to this fact is, along with the damage it's done to their brand. This is the same party that spent so much time and energy building its brand as the party of women. And the party of compassion, they say. Relying on the media to spin its evil, no-limits abortion zealotry. As they put on weird costumes and declared themselves handmaidens, as somehow reflecting a pro-woman position. To a large degree, with the help of heavy lifting from the media allies, it worked. Their radicalism in championing men and women's sports has punctured that facade. It's not an insignificant issue when mentally ill men are swooping in to claim trophies and set records. The ostrich party refuses even to acknowledge the existence of victims, even as their numbers grow. They were talking about this with Josh Hammer today on Fox. Sandra Smith said to the guy who was there representing the left, well, stop running away from the issue. And he said, no, I'm not running away from it. And she said, okay, well, do you believe men can men should be competing in women's sports. And you know what he said? He says, well, now we're trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. And she says, see, this is the problem. Mm-hmm. Why is it not just, no, I don't agree that they should. I don't think they should be. Because none of you can say that.
It's
you know what's weird? It's not even that all of them actually, I don't think actually all of them believe it. But they can't say it.
Yep, that's what I think too.
There's a big difference.
They'll be banned
That's
from
worse.
the Rams. Yep, they're too weak.
Yeah.
They're too weak and easily controlled. They can't say, no, this is dumb. They have to say, that is a woman. That is a woman. And yes, she belongs in, on the volleyball court, pulverizing my daughter. They can't stand up.
Nobody wants our daughters competing against mentally ill men. It's not that hard to say. It's not that hard to figure out why 90% of the country believes that. But yet they cannot. This is the hill they're going to die on, along with many other things.
No doubt.
Yeah. I was reading about a woman, someone asked her, why did you take your 15-year-old daughter to have her breasts carved out in the name of, transgender, whatever? She said, I was afraid if I didn't, that they would call me transphobic.
What?
She was afraid of being called a word, so she fed her daughter to the woke meat grinder because she was afraid. That's weakness. Don't have kids. You're too weak.
And you have this girl, Peyton McNabb, who's there at the State of the Union Tuesday night, up there in the seats. And the president makes mention of her horrific story. She's left with a traumatic brain injury because some mentally ill guy thought he was going to play volleyball and did play volleyball against her, smashed the ball so hard, hit her in the head, gave her a brain injury. And there she is Tuesday night, and she gets acknowledged. And they can't even stand for her. They sit there in silence and stare at her like she's the bad one. And you've got, in Slick, you know this, when you lose Martina Navratilova.
Yeah, you've really lost something.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I mean, you've pretty much lost as socially liberal as you can get.
And they lost her early because she's been on the wagon for a while with this, they really against the whole transgender movement. She has been.
He says this is also a political party that rushes to defend and enable illegal aliens who prey on women, which is perhaps why they sat on their hands and scowled during the heartbreaking tributes to Laken Riley and Jocelyn Nungary. Except to see increasingly more women move away from the Democrats in the same way that a gradual a movement of working class Americans escaping the madness of the Democrat Party as well. Having thrown their lot in with the globalists, the Democrat Party is almost maliciously anti-American at this point. And I don't think that's not an overstatement. What's Levin's last book, The Democrat Party Hates America? That's not an overstatement. This manifests in many ways, and all were in full view during the State of the Union and its aftermath. They defend illegal alien criminals over their American victims at every opportunity. It's almost as if they expect these criminals to vote for them. Oh, you can't legally show an ID to vote in Democrat California? You don't say. They also take the side of other nations against the United States, whether it's Ukraine, Canada, China. Less obvious, but even more damaging, is their anti-American result. They oppose any attempt to reduce unnecessary spending or to address America's disastrous debt situation, cheering on even the most absurd spending or the federal judge that orders the administration to throw $2 billion into the corrupt foreign aid shredder, as we are dealing with now. There's only 3 possible reasons why Democrats care so little about government waste. They're so stupid that they don't realize we are heading to bankruptcy, or they do understand, and it's exactly what they want, or they know we are on the path to collapse, but prefer their party in power until the disbodiment hand shows up to announce our downfall. Regardless, their position weakens America, which for them appears to be a feature and not a bug. And really what they fear is we're going to find out how much money they've been laundering through all these front groups that they have, back to people like Elizabeth Warren and others. All right, news, sports, all coming up. Rick Delgado's off tonight.
Oh, yeah.
He's all tinfoiled
He's
up.
off tonight, all right.
He's off and rolling. We'll give you an update on him when we get back.
Oh, man, he's texting us.
Now that I know he's out.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to need some batteries.
Looks like our Getter stream chat doesn't work tonight.
Getter?
Yeah.
Chat?
Like I can't chat in it. I don't see anything.
I've been seeing that. I've been having problems with the Getter for a long time.
Rav's seems to be working, but ours isn't.
Has ours been working?
It has, yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of people chatting, but there are some people in there.
Is there any water?
Speaking of chat, what's going on, chat? I think so. Is there water out there? We already went through the whole case?
Oh, yeah, that was gone as soon as Spotlight was over.
Moses. Oh, the seltzer.
What's that? Is that someone's?
No, you can have one.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir.
KDJ's wearing his guitar shirt. That's what that is. That is a guitar. Getter. I don't know if it's a Martin exactly, but it's maybe a Takamine, but it's a good one. Are you going to cover Gene Hackman results? I mean, I guess we can. Is there much to cover? He died before, or she died first. He was.
Yeah.
Seems the whole story seems kind of wacky.
Mm-hmm. What a way to go.
ShopRite special.
Oh, thank you,
It's
sir.
just like ShopRite.
I hope Delgado isn't abducted by aliens tonight. Too late.
That's the best water you ever going to.
Seemed like he was making friends with them already.
Yeah, he
Oh,
would
did you
love
see
to
his
get
pictures
abducted.
he's sending of all these people wrapped in tinfoil? Sponsored by Reynolds Wrap this thing.
Trans-
Somebody on Rumble said Nocturnal Code Hack said Iowa's here. Glad to see KDJ live listening on 103.9 Daily.
Nice.
Very
Thank
good.
you, sir. Thank you, Patriot.
Damon, will you have a chat white hoodie? Do we not have one already? Or we just have a t-shirt, not a hoodie? Yes, we will have one tonight. Ba-ba-da-da. 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Friday, March 7th. Real America's Voice and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio. Slick Rick's here. He's going to do some sports here in a second. Kevin Downey Jr., the host of the Kevin Downey Jr. Show, each weekday 9 to 11 a.m. right here on 103.9 LI News, where you're listening to us right now. Suffolk County, New York, or really all over Long Island, New York. You should be listening to KDJ 9 to 11 each and every morning, and I know more of you are because you let me know and I see the tweets. Rick Delgado's off tonight. He's not here. He is. Where is he, Slick? He's at the Aliens.
Yeah.
Ancient Aliens Live
Right.
tour.
Brought to you by Reynolds Aluminum Wrap.
Brought to you by Reynolds Wrap.
Yeah.
And Delgado got to the theater.
Oh, yeah.
And immediately started taking secretive pictures of the audience he's going to be sharing the evening with.
I thought it was family photos.
And, well, let's just say they're interesting. They're interesting to say the least. Delgado certainly looks like he's going to fit right in.
Right in.
He's going to be their president.
Yep.
Yes. There's a very good chance. Delgado could end up being on the tour.
When someone says, "Take me to your leader," it's going to go straight to Delgado. Hey, he's over here.
Yes. There's a very good chance he could be on the tour. So wherever they've got a bunch of stops too. I looked at their website.
Yeah.
They've got a bunch of stops. So Delgado could call in and say, "My last show was last night. I'm now on tour
He could be.
with the Ancient Aliens deal."
It's on the fly-by-night panel. Exactly.
Yes. So I don't know. Maybe we should try to Skype Delgado later, see if he'll pick up an answer.
Yeah, that'd be great. Bring him in live. or something like that.
Yeah. All right, 19 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell. MyPillow, LFS6B is the promo code to use if you shop at MyPillow. All the great stuff from Lindell, whatever you're looking for. Great Easter gifts, towels, sheets, pillows, mattresses, mattress toppers. Man, so many things that you can buy from Mike. It's all great stuff. Most of it made right here in the good old US of A. LFS6B is the promo code to use at checkout. It'll give you 50-60% off. Slick's got sports. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, Big D, let's get to the scoreboard right away here. NCAA men's basketball just underway here. We got Murray State leading Bradley 30-29. We have South Dakota 48-50, trailing North Dakota State 48-52. 13 to go there in the second half. In the first, Illinois right now leading Purdue 17-13. And earlier tonight, Belmont beat Illinois State 76-63. South Florida, Memphis getting it on at 9 p.m. down in Memphis. NHL action in Jersey. The Jets blanking the Devils 2-0. 8 to go there in the second. 15 to go in the second. The Red Wings over the Capitals 2-1 in D.C. Utah Hockey Club, Blackhawks, Wild and Canucks, Penguins, Golden Knights, Blues and Ducks all getting it on. 8:30 and 10 p.m. respective puck drops. NBA action at the half. Cavs lead the Hornets 63-52. Mavericks over the Grizzlies 35-29. 8 to go there in the second. With 6 to go in the first, Timberwolves over the Heat, 15-12. Thunder lead the Trailblazers 11-9. 6 to go there in the first as well. Suns and Nuggets, Spurs and Kings. Knicks at the Clippers. Jalen Brunson out 2 weeks with an injury last night. Big D turned his ankle against the Lakers in the Crypto.com arena, and he'll be out for 2 weeks for the Knicks. That's a tough one because they're trying to make a push to have a top seeding there in the playoff run. And we got to go to the story. Well, you know the World Cup is coming to the country, right, Big D? And today, President Trump creates a task force for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and of course he plans to attend matches. This is Nick Gilbertson of Breitbart Sports. Washington, Donald Trump on Friday created a task force for the FIFA World Cup, the world's most revered soccer competition, which will held in the United States, Canada, and Mexico in 2026. Trump signed an executive order creating the task force in the Oval Office, which flanked by FIA President Gianni Infantino, FIFA, right? Trump and Vice President FIFA Las Vegas. Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance will chair the task force. I like that. The order notes Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Defensive Secretary Pete Hegseth, Attorney General Pam Bondi, Commerce. Well, this is a big task force, Big D. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, and others will be on the task force. This important event taking place during the momentous occasion of the 250th anniversary of our country presents an opportunity to showcase the nation's pride and hospitality while promoting economic growth and tourism through sport, the order states. It adds the task force shall coordinate with executive departments and agencies to assist in the planning, organization, and execution of the events surrounding the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup and the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Agencies shall provide information and assistance useful and necessary to the task force. Speaking in the Oval Office, Infantino likened the World Cup to 3 Super Bowls every day for 1 month. And we know that. You know that by your family, right?
Yeah.
Who's that, your father-in-law?
Nothing bigger. This is the biggest sporting event probably in the world.
Yeah, so North America is going to be hosting it this year.
Yeah, as we have before.
And, President Trump is ready. They're going to have a task force. The economic impact is $40 billion with a B, U.S. dollars between now and next year. We will create 200,000 jobs for these 2 World Cups. And more than that, we will give joy and happiness to the entire world, is what Infantino said. And when a reporter asked if he planned to attend some matches, Trump said he wanted to go to multiple matches. Oh, yeah, sure, I'd like to go, certainly more than one. We'll be making the rounds. It's a period of a month, and it's really top of the line, he said. It's one of the great events of anywhere in the world, he said. Infantino also showed Trump the trophy for the 2025 FIFA World Cup trophy and gifted him a personalized soccer ball. So President was in a good mood today at the White House, Big D.
Boy, he was busy today. He was busy at the White House today.
Yep. Well, that's a wrap in sports. Over to you.
Yeah, he did a presser this morning, which we streamed live on the channel, which was good. Took some more questions. Then he did that, the FIFA World Cup. Then he had a crypto meeting at the White House with about 30 crypto leaders. And then he headed out to Florida, signed some executive orders. So he had a very busy day today at the White House. But the FIFA thing is good. It's I mean,
huge.
The World Cup coming here. I mean, there's no bigger. And listen, American soccer's on the rise. I think you could safely say that, right? I mean, the Americans, the national team has been doing better.
Sure, I mean,
years.
It's been on a constant rise for the last 40 years. But man, it really is to get a nice jump. A lot of young people love the game.
Yeah. And the World Cup's always fun for me because my father-in-law gets to come over to my house and throw things and scream for 30 days. So that's always fun to have every time the Americans play.
Germany.
Or the Germans play.
Yeah, those are his teams.
Yeah,
Hands
those are
down.
his teams. He roots for America and obviously roots for his home country.
Now, what if they both played each other? He'd have to go with the Germans.
Oh, he would. Right? I don't know. That could get ugly.
Good question.
That could get ugly, yeah.
What's worse, to have a father-in-law who enjoys communist football, or if you had a father-in-law who enjoys the Jets?
No, not the Jets. I mean, how anybody could deal with the Jets, I have no idea. But Aaron does it, so I mean, we could ask her. So, all right, Slick, that's it for sports.
That's a wrap.
All right, very good. Rick Delgado's off tonight. He is at the Ancient. What is it? Ancient Aliens Live, and he actually sent us some footage of getting ready to go to the show. And here it is. It just came in. He just sent it over. Take a look, Slick. There's Delgado getting ready to go to the to the event. What do you think? Oh no! Yeah. So
wow.
There you go.
He rolling in. Wow, Delgado, look out!
There he is.
That is Delgado. Wait a minute. Are you kidding me?
There he is, getting ready. Get to your seat, Delgado. Get to your seat quick.
He's just hanging out.
All right, live from Studio 6B. We're back right after this.
Super chat. First one of the night, Big D. Bible Destination 199. I shall repent for coveting KDJ's shirt.
Oh,
that was a nice
cool. A
super
lot of
chat.
people like your shirt, KDJ.
Yeah.
And that was Bible Destination on the YouTube chat, Big D.
Ba-dum-bum-bum, ba-dum-bum-bum. Chat. What's going on? Hit the like, subscribe, whatever platform you're on. No, what even is that, obviously, tonight? He's not here. Ancient Alien. Delgado tonight on lookout for 350-year-old Social Security recipient.
To the other side, to my right? Yeah. That's weird.
Big D, you need to make an Epstein shirt? Nah.
Oh. All right, I moved it over here. Takes some getting used to, but I'll get
Kicked
used
off
to it.
Patriot. What's going on? Real Prince style. What's up?
You know what? There was like a little cushion on it. Used to be on it, and it must have fell off or something. I don't know what happened. That little fuzzy little pad. Yeah. Because I'm right-handed. This is a spot. Chris Allen. I guess so. Okay. Try that.
Farm Brook, what's going on? Plans for the weekend? Yeah, I'm going on a college tour with my son.
Chris Allen's in the YouTube chat says, KDJ, fix your collar, driving him crazy. The guy can't relax. Your collar's got to come outside, you think.
What's wrong with the collar?
I guess the guy wants to see it like this.
Oh, my Lord.
You know what? I'm OCD a little too. So
Yep.
thanks for that.
There you go. That's it. Anakala wants to know, Slick, why don't you cover LPGA? I do cover it. I don't cover it every night, but when it gets into the into the spring, summer, I do pull, obviously, the women's LPGA numbers. Listen, I'm trying to cover Iditarod here. I got to have some time for that,
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, a Pizza Friday. Plain tonight, just plain old plain. Obviously, during Lent, we're going to stay away from the meat on Fridays.
Yep.
So plain tonight, but it was very, very good. Welcome on in. KDJ's here. Going to do some news. Rick Delgado's got the night off. Slick's doing sports. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Paul Nolan will be back on Monday. Vinnie Mac will be back on Tuesday. Hope you all have a great weekend, whatever you're doing. To all our friends in the chat, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Want to welcome everybody in who's watching on social media. Make sure you become a follower of whatever platform you're on. Follow the channel. Let's do some news. KDJ, the host of the KDJ radio show, Kevin Downey Jr. show, 9 to 11, weekday mornings, right here, 103.9 LI News Radio is here to do some news tonight. KDJ, how are you?
Thank you, sir. Doing good, Big D. Don't forget, folks, you can catch my show at linewsradio.com. For those of you who don't want to download yet another app to your phone, linewsradio.com. A lot of folks listening, and I appreciate those of you who have come from this show over to my show in the morning.
A lot of them.
Yeah,
Nice.
I appreciate each and every one of you.
And we now have people demanding a third hour of the KDJ show.
Yeah, he's got 2 hours, too. It goes fast, too.
Yeah. You guys got to come on. I would love to have all four on. That would just be a hoot.
Well, Slick's been on. Right?
I have been on.
Slick's been
I crashed the show.
Delgado's been on.
Oh, Delgado's been on, yeah.
Oh, has he?
Yeah. Do you want to come on? When are you
Paul
ready?
and Vinny, have they been on too?
No, I just met Paul for the first time. It was great to finally meet him. We got along splendid.
But the crux of the show's been on, Slick and Delgado, right?
Who's Delgado on? He didn't tell me.
He was on about a month. He's been on 2 or 3 times.
Two or three times.
He finds time during the day to get on these shows, huh?
Yeah.
I see that. Oh, boy.
Well, Big D, I've got great news. Great news if you're a Patriot.
Pelosi retired? No.
And I know all of you are. Trump pulled a whopping $400 million from Colombia, which is just a training ground for the new Hitler Youth coming up. They don't wear swastikas anymore. They wear keffiyehs. I'm not sure how. I should learn how to say it because that word's not going away anytime soon. But I shall read in my broadcaster's voice. A federal anti-Semitism task force convened by President Trump and including the Department of Justice, Health and Human Services, and Education, as well as blah, 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 just announced today the barring of U.S. taxpayers' money from funding Columbia University. Now, keep in mind, folks, Columbia, I think they were the first university, spendy one too, it's not cheap, to say, yeah, come on in, Hitler Youth, we're cool with you guys terrorizing Jews on our campus. And then it went away for a while. Last week, a teacher actually had his class close their eyes and say, we're going to do a blind test. Everyone close your eyes. Who wants to cancel class to go to the protest or pogrom, whatever you want to call it at this point? And the class voted to go terrorize Jews. So we canceled class and they went, and there was a big fracas. They did it again this week. Someone got hurt, and Trump said, that's it, $400 million gone. Thank God this does not fall under free speech, folks. When you're taking over buildings, when people are getting assaulted, well, yeah, the Constitution says we can convene to protest, but you have to do it peacefully. Someone somehow missed that. And not only are they out $400 million, look at this. State Department yanked the first visa today of a foreign student linked to the Hamas disruption. Some people call them riots. And President Trump, he vowed to crack down on these idiots, and he's doing it. First visa's gone. I don't have the person's name. I bet it's probably not Italian or Irish. I'm going to go Chinese on this one first. Maybe even Middle Eastern. I don't know.
I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah, the religion of peace really hates Jews first. Remember, folks, you're next. They have a saying, first the Saturdays, then we get the Sundays. Sundays would be Christians, like most of us. Not all, but most of us. So they're going to eradicate the Jews first. Then they're coming for you. They're coming for me. They're coming for us. But finally, and it's sick that it takes the federal government to fight back. You would think the school would say, hey, you know what? We don't want you being all hateful on our campus. But they don't stop it. Why? Because the universities have been taken over by Marxists. It's one of the 45 goals of communism, gentlemen. Take over the schools and inject that Marxist curriculum in. And that is what they have done. That's why we're going to have generations of anti-Semitics if we don't do something. And President Trump finally today, first out $400 million, and then they booted some Hitler Youths. I'm going to find out who. I'm really eager, because a lot of these names are Chinese. The Chinese are flooding this nation. And, of course, yet another goal of communism of the 45 student protests or riots. They actually says riots, I believe, on campus. They're just following their playbook. If you know those 45 rules, you only need to know half of them because some of them are outdated. You know those, and you will see what's happening, folks. Marxism alive and well in our nation. President Trump finally, a federal government that will fight back. Biden never would have done this. He loved it. He probably didn't even know about it most of the time, but he became a globalist and he loved it. So we've got that going on.
Yeah, let me add to that story because I saw this today in Axios, and I think this is a fantastic idea by Marco Rubio over at State. And the headline in Axios says the State Department to use AI to revoke visas of foreign students who appear to be pro-Hamas. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is launching an AI-fueled catch and revoke effort to cancel the visas of foreign nationals who appear to support Hamas and other designated terror groups. Senior State Department officials tell Axios why it matters. The effort, which includes AI-assisted reviews of tens of thousands of student visa holders' social media accounts, marks a dramatic escalation in the U.S. government's policy of foreign nationals' conduct and their speech. The reviews of social media accounts are particularly looking for evidence of alleged terrorist sympathizers expressed after Hamas's October 7, 2023 attack on Israel, officials say. Officials plan to examine internal databases to see whether any visa holders were arrested but allowed to stay in the country during the Biden administration. They say they've also checking news reports of anti-Israel demonstrations and Jewish students' lawsuits that highlight foreign nationals allegedly engaged in anti-Semitic activity without any consequences. The State Department is working with the Department of Justice and Homeland Security in what one senior state official called a whole of government and whole of authority approach. To launch Catch and Revoke, federal officials examined 100,000 people in the student exchange visitor system since October 2023 to see if any visas had been revoked because the student's been arrested or suspended from school. Usually, a consular official whose office issues the visa for a foreigner makes the revocation decision once they've been alerted without an arrest or a suspension. We found literally zero visa takebacks during the Biden administration, the official said, which suggests a blind eye attitude towards law enforcement. The big picture here is the cumulative effect of Trump's executive order is already having a chilling effect on student visa holders. They're starting to shy away from protests critical of Israel, and that, of course, is the point. So very interesting. Sounds like a fantastic idea to me from Marco Rubio over there at State, just to kind of double down with Trump taking the money away from, what did he take, $400 million?
$400 million.
To start here?
Yep.
And now this? I think it sounds like a pretty good start.
It's a great start. And here's another thing. The Democrats are, they're all for attacking Jewish people. That's who's behind this. It's yet another issue that's going to cripple that party. And soon, I see it coming. They can't sustain this. You can't ignore a 13-year-old black kid with cancer when Trump honors him, especially the left. Oh, we love black people. We're here for the black people. No, you're not. He's a 13-year-old black kid with cancer, and you snubbed him. Everyone sees that. It's the hypocrisy. Keep in mind, the Marxists don't mind their own hypocrisy. They kind of bank on it. They know they're a bunch of liar heads. But for the rest of the nation to see it, that's going to be a staggering kick to the beanbag for these people. And it's you watch. I don't think they're going to have their core fans. I know some people just won't listen. A friend of mine just said, I have 2 young kids. They're not going to go die in a Russian battlefield because of Trump. And I said, well, Trump's the only one calling for peace. Biden did it. He never even talked to Putin. It's just becoming glaringly obvious that these people on the left are animals. And now your normie neighbor is going to see it. I mean, the ones that aren't with Delgado tonight at the...
Yeah. All right, what else is going on in the news, KDJ?
Oh, I got a lot of stuff, man. Look at this. An AOC aide was here illegally, and jumped ship. Saw it coming, went home to a guy named De La Vega, went home to Colombia. He knew he knew his time was coming. And he decided to go home and see his wife. Thanks for that, family, man. Appreciate you leaving your wife in Colombia while you come here to work for AOC. But according to the Washington Free Beacon, De La Vega left the U.S. in December after he overstayed his visa that he received when he was 7 years old. 7 years old, and he stayed here and was working for AOC. Isn't there, if you get a job, don't you have to prove you're an American citizen? Did they do away with that?
I mean, to work for a congresswoman?
I know someone who is here. He moved here from Ireland with his parents when he was 4, and they became citizens. And for whatever reason, they never went through with his citizenship. So he got pulled over for nothing. They said something wrong here. And this was right after 9/11. And so his wife got a call and said, your husband's in jail. We just found out he's here illegally. 6 months later, she gets a call saying your husband is being sent to a prison in New Orleans, a prison for people who are here illegally. And then a month later, hey, your husband's on a plane back to Ireland. He said he'll call you when he lands. That was after 9/11. This now, whole new world, folks. They're fighting to keep these people in. But this guy saw it coming, and he bailed, and I love that.
Working for AOC.
Working for AOC. Overstated.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like what they did. I mean, they're hiring illegals. They're supporting criminals. No different than raising money for them in like Kamala Harris did in Minnesota during the Summer of Love, remember?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Black Lives Matter riots. They were all raising money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, is there any difference between raising money for them or hiring illegals? They have no respect for the laws. They have no respect for the country. They have no respect for you.
Nope.
The citizen, most of all, because they believe that the non-citizen is more virtuous than you, the citizen.
Oh, yeah.
And that if you're succeeding or you're doing anything positive, it's at the expense of them. And that's just the way they look at it.
And you know what? At the bottom of this article, D, it says right here, he was barred from working in Congress because of his legal status. He got through, though. That means someone let him through.
Say it again. He got barred from what? Working?
It says it is not clear how De La Vega was able to be employed by AOC, although he was barred from working in Congress because of his legal status.
Well, couldn't someone do an investigation on how he got hired and how much he got paid and who paid him? And there's got to be something else here to probably see, isn't there?
I would imagine Tom Homan could do that. And he's got a little beef with AOC going anyway. Remember, she did some webinar where she was telling people how to dodge ICE, and that didn't go over well. Then she contacted Pam Bondi. Am I in trouble?
All right, live from Studio 6B. We'll come back, wrap up hour one. A little more sports with Slick. I got a couple other things for you as well coming up.
sounds like your kind of show. I like that opening. That's strong. Good tune, Fran. Wow.
Thank you.
That was very good. What was that called?
That one is Atomic Blonde.
Atomic Blonde. Wow.
That's what it's called, or that's the band?
That's the name of the song. It's by Rockin' for Decades is the artist.
Oh, KDJ, that sounds like a good opener for his show.
Yeah. Is this one of those songs you can use royalty-free?
We license it for our stream.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So Big D said for $20,000, he'll give it to you.
Huh. Not bad.
What's going on in the chat?
Oh, you got to look back. I think there was a super chat or two. John Q. Public sent us a super chat earlier. It was missed. We got to thank Aaron Cook for the pizza tonight. He gave us $50 last night for the super chat pizza, Big D. Aaron Cook in the YouTube chat. Just Char. Hey to the Facebook chat. Hi, KDJ.
Hello.
$10 super chat. Very nice. Thank you. John Q. Public. I can't pull his up. I don't have that one.
We have a $5 rant on Rumble from DM Lacrosse. Time for 47 to put the fire on the Speaker and Senate leader. No more talking. Start passing bills that resemble his executive orders. For crying out loud, tax cuts permanently. You will be primaried.
I agree with that. I was railing about it last night. I had this Washington Times piece about the Freedom Caucus getting ready to pivot because they're so happy with Doge, which, I don't know. And then I see Bannon today with Chip Roy. And there's Chip Roy going, well, I might be okay with this because the president can always claw back the money. And I'm thinking to myself, this is where we're at now. Now we're going into the mode of, well, no, if you give them give them $1 trillion to spend, well, they'll only spend $100 billion. Like they're not going to spend everything that's available to them. From Studio 6B on a Friday night, 13 till the hour. Real America's Voice and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio. Slick Rick's here doing sports. Speaking of LI News Radio, Kevin Downey Jr., the host of the Kevin Downey Jr. show, is here. He's going to do some more news. Aaron and Fran holding it down. Wherever you're watching or listening, make sure you follow us on all of our social media at LFS6B, pretty much everywhere. Instagram, LFS6B Show. But everywhere else, at LFS6B, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, comment, follow, whatever you can do. We appreciate it as we continue to try to grow the social media numbers. And we appreciate everybody who's in the social media tonight, whether it's on Rumble, X, Facebook, YouTube, Getter, Kick, wherever you're watching. We appreciate it. Hit the like and subscribe. We'll do some more sports here with Slick. I'm just looking in the chat to see what everybody's talking about here. A bunch of stuff I want to get to. Have you heard about Act Blue? They could be in problems. Ooh, I wonder if that coincides with anything. We'll get to that. Do we have an Amy Coney Barrett problem? Oh, I think we all know the answer to that. If we have a moment, we'll get to that as well. And then what about the bird flu? We've been talking about bird flu a lot. I've been talking to Dr. McCullough, of course, our friends over at the Wellness Company about this. RFK Jr. tonight reveals that all three health agencies, NIH, CDC, and FDA, will be recommending against the bird flu vaccine. And good for him. And it's going to be on the Trump administration to clean up the Biden bird flu mess disaster. So if we have some time, We'll get into some of that as well. But right now, let's do some more sports. 11 till the hour. Sports is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell, MyPillow. LFS6B is the promo code to use there as well. Slick's got sports. Did you see the LeBron James, Stephen A. Smith video?
Yeah, I have that story.
Oh,
not right now.
Do we know what that was about?
Not exactly.
Okay. All right, Slick's got sports. What's going on, Slick?
Only place you're ever going to hear about Iditarod, Big D. I'm going to give him an Iditarod update from earlier today. Yeah, come on now. We got to talk to our people in Anchorage.
Moosh your way through it.
That's right, moosh. We had mozzarella sticks tonight, too. They were delicious, by the way. Thank you very much. Tired Iditarod teams battle the Sandman and an actual sandstorm on the trail. This is alaskapublic.org by Shelby Herbert, Kuac. Galena, I believe it's Galena, could be Galena. Iditarod sled dog race teams at the head of the pack were wrapping up their mandatory 24-hour breaks at checkpoints along the trail Friday, including the one in this interior community. Mooshes at the Galena checkpoint, almost 400 miles into the trail, were visibly weary with dark circles under their eyes and a shuffling gait, Big D. In the early hours of the morning, they listlessly filed through the checkpoint's coffee station, before they're heading out into the cold to begin their dog chores. Moosher Laurel Eklund of Two Rivers said, at some point, caffeine just ceases to work. There's moments when you're kind of getting a little loopy and whatnot. Sounds like Delgado's event tonight. And it's just one of those deals where will enjoy yourself to stay awake, said Eklund, who is racing in his second Iditarod. Eating something, brushing your teeth, it all helps make your body kick into being awake. But 2023 Iditarod champion, the great Ryan Reddington, Big D, of Nick, said he'll just give in to the fatigue every so often. He'll zonk out on the back of his sled for short spells, trusting his dogs to take him where they need to go. And goes on to detail naps and this and that. So these are your Iditarod updates. What can I tell you? These guys go out into the trail. You don't hear from them for 24 hours, but it's a long 400 miles. So we'll have a full wrap-up on Monday when it doesn't wrap up for 9 days. Kicked off last Saturday. So we're looking at, we're pretty close to Monday night. Could be wrapped up by then, Big D, because Alaska's obviously several hours ahead of us for the day. So we'll have a full wrap on that.
Okay.
Getting back to, that's part of the United States too, but we're going to get back to this story. We'll talk about Charles Barkley now. So Charles Barkley slams fools in Canada who badmouth hockey legend Wayne Gretzky over his friendship with Trump. This is Dylan Gwynn at Breitbart. Charles Barkley has had it with fools in Canada who criticize hockey legend Wayne Gretzky over his friendship with U.S. President Donald Trump. That's crazy how great Gretzky is, Barkley said during his Thursday's edition of Inside the NBA. And you get them fools up in Canada giving the great one a hard time. I went off on them today on the podcast. I was in that mood today. Wayne Gretzky is the greatest hockey player ever. He's the nicest person. Co-host Kenny Smith, the Jet, right? Then interjected, saying that Gretzky's nickname is in fact the great one. Barkley answered, I know, but the fools up in Canada gave him a hard time because of the tariff with Trump and everything. He has nothing to do with that. He played hockey. He's the greatest player ever. He got no control over what the fools do down here in our government. Gretzky has been a vocal supporter of President Trump, and the two remained close friends shortly after assuming office. Trump drew the ire of many Canadians by discussing the imposition of tariffs and joked about Canada becoming the 51st state. I think that's still on the table, right? While Trump has since walked back many of the most substantial aspects of the tariffs, Canadians continue to boo the American anthem at NBA, MLS, NHL, and international sporting events. So Charles Barkley coming out, speaking out for Gretzky, but not exactly speaking out for the government, what's going on. But that's a wrap in sports, Big D. Back to you. I'll have some rodeo coming up, Friday Night Rodeo in my next report.
All right, Slick, very good. Let's do a little more news with the host of the Kevin Downey Jr. show. That is Kevin Downey Jr. What's going on, KDJ?
Well, excuse me. Thank you, D. Can I first say that I think 80% of Canada's population lives along our border? A lot of people didn't know that. You know why? Because we're the United States of America and you're not. They're trying to get as close as they can. You know what? Boo all you want. We don't care. We're the pretty girl at the prom, and you are the beaver tail eating quasi-Marxists up north. Pipe down, except for, I kind of like Quebec. They're doing their own thing, but the rest of them, yeah, I grew up in Detroit. I'm 25% Canadian. We've always gotten along with them. But the thing, Canadians always have an opinion on Americans, and they've asked me before, what do you think of us? And I said, honestly, we don't. And I said, most Americans don't even know if you have a president, a prime minister, or a king, because we just don't care about you. And I said, I do. I'm 25% Canadian.
Thought they had a governor.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah,
I've got governor, A.
You know what? I do say A. Detroiters do say A.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, great game, eh? Yeah, oh, yeah. And they make fun of me for that. Look at that. We got a ton of stuff. Let's do this one. We got a better one than that. Here we go.
News, eh?
News, eh? So this couple bought a house in Plymouth, Massachusetts, and
That was their first mistake.
yep. Keep in mind a little backstory. The mayor of Boston recently went up in front of Congress and lied, saying, we work with ICE. We're all over. This is the town that let a Haitian illegal immigrant out of jail for $500 after raping a 15-year-old handicapped girl who was also here illegally. And this was in a shelter where they were all living for free. But back to Massachusetts.
By the way, the mayor of Boston is also the same person who just last week, upon a knifed intruder entering a Chick-fil-A and ready to stab people, who was shot by an off-duty officer who happened to have his weapon with him, that went in front of the cameras and sent condolences to the dead guy who was about to kill people.
What?
Oh, yes. And about 3 other officials from the city did the same thing on the same night.
Yep.
Didn't talk about the hero who probably saved the lives, who happened to be armed, an off-duty police officer, I believe it was. But she went in front of the camera and sent condolences to the dead subhuman who was going to stab everybody.
It's sick.
That's how insane the mayor of Boston is, Michelle Wu.
Yep. Went in there to murder people. I was shocked. I thought this can't be true. They can't have gone this far. And they did. They did go that far. Condolences to the family of the animal who it would have been a mass stabbing if he hadn't been there.
100%.
Who knows what he could have done? Well, this same neck of the woods, couple buys a house, and as they're about to move in, the previous owner goes, just so you know, there's a squatter there. I haven't lived in years. I forgot to mention that. And so they...
Oh, you might as well forget it then. In a place like that, you'll never get in. You'll never get the house. And every single person who works in law enforcement is going to be against you there. So
judge already ruled it, just like you said.
Yeah, 100%. All right, live from Studio 6B. That's a wrap on Hour 1. Hour 2 coming up right after this.
Super chat. Big D, we got one big super chat here. Ron and Norma Klein, $9.99. Pray for our son-in-law. 2 blood clots in lungs being tested to see if dissolved. Pray for Craig. So we pray for
certainly
him.
will.
Yep, Ron and Norma Klein, good viewers. They watch every night. They're in the chat. So that's the YouTube chat.
Fran, are we having technical issues with stuff back there?
Define technical issues.
Well, the music.
I wasn't looking at you when you threw.
Oh. Okay, so it's not the machine.
No.
That's fine. I just thought it sounded like...
No, I was doing my other...
I threw it twice.
Duties. Yeah, I was uploading the last segment.
Gotcha. Just want to make sure.
Also looked like you were just messing with your sleeves the first time.
This looks like I was gyrating.
Oh, look at this. The Tinfoil Hat Support Group. Carolyn send
I was going to say,
compliments, praying for my radio show to grow even bigger. Thank you, all of you at the Tinfoil Hat Support Group, and to Carolyn. Thank you.
That's what I was thinking, too. Oh, that was a reference.
First thing that came to my head.
Reference to Delgado.
Delgado. Oh, man. He's hanging out with Jim Beam tonight. Yes. Let's see what's going on, Big D. What do we got? Super chats. Yeah, we missed a super chat earlier. John Q. Public, whatever your super chat was, thank you. You know what happens? YouTube it's not as easy as you think. The super chats disappear every so often with the chat. It's crazy. So we're trying to keep track of it and keep it going. So but we got Ron and Norma. Jesus Perez is keeping on top of me, Big D. Come on, Rick. We want to be part of the show. Jesus Perez. 1 minute. That story with LeBron, that was about his son Bronny. He went after Stephen A. Smith. I guess he said some not so flattering things about him.
All right, 9 o'clock, hour 2, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night. Real America's Voice and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio. Glad you're in, everybody, wherever you're watching across the country, wherever you're listening across the country. We welcome on in. Glad you give us a few hours of your night. Weekdays, 8 to 10, right here, live from Studio 6B. Slick Rick is doing sports. Kevin Downey Jr., the host of the Kevin Downey Jr. Show, heard mornings right here on LI News Radio, 9 to 11, is doing the news. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. And, of course, you, the live from Studio 6B audience. We appreciate you watching on social media. Wherever you're watching, hit the like and subscribe. So if you remember, after the State of the Union on Tuesday, on Wednesday night, we were still over there on the other set, and I'm talking about Andrew Bailey of Missouri, the Attorney General, right, and his story that he broke that night in the request letter he sent to look into Joe Biden's signature. Do you remember that?
Yep.
And then we had a follow-up last night on it. Well, tonight, Grant Stinchfield had on a attorney from the Heritage Foundation, I believe, who I haven't seen this clip, so I don't know if he's involved directly with this or if he just has an opinion or if they've been looking into it on this exact issue. Here's a little bit from that interview tonight.
So we've been tracking for a while the fact that President Biden clearly was not all with it, and that it got progressively worse over his presidency. So we've been looking at how do we show that? What indicia of that would be? So we obviously litigated against Biden a lot when he was in office. We were pursuing and are still pursuing the tapes of his disastrous interview with Special Counsel Hur, the elderly man with a poor memory, as one of the reasons that he didn't get charged for retaining classified documents. And we've heard that tape demonstrates the fact that he was an elderly man who was not altogether with it. So we've been pursuing that angle. Another angle that we were taking a look at was, well, in light of what Speaker Johnson said, in light of how little he seemed to know about what was actually going on in his administration, ostensibly under his name, was looking at the signatures. And what we saw was that it appears that there are a lot of documents that should have wet signatures, normally have wet signatures, would have a wet signature under President Trump, be it 45 or 47, looked as though they were auto-pen, and there was a very real variance between these signatures. So we looked at them all, and we said, well, that would make a lot of sense. Either you're auto-penning to hide a cognitive decline that would be inherent in the handwriting. For example, if you look at one we think he did sign himself, which is Hunter's pardon, the handwriting is shaky and has some marks that would suggest that. And then the broader question is, well, were his staff, who we knew were managing everything else, telling him what reporters to call on, telling him where to stand, telling him he had to stop talking to the press, were they just telling him, hey, we've got this great thing, auto-penning it, he didn't read it, didn't know what was in it, etc.?
Let me take you through a series of questions pretty quickly as we get to the bottom of this. So do you have a handwriting expert that says, yes, these are all auto pen, or do you have an expert that says, yes, every single one of these signatures is the exact same? Because basically an electronic signature, an auto pen, a computer is going to write it the same every time. Did you have one of those experts figure that out?
That's something we have underway, is talking to experts in these field. Another way you could look at it is there should be records ostensibly authorizing the use of the auto pen. So that's another question out there, but we're looking very actively at both of those avenues to further our inquiry.
So the auto pen is not necessarily illegal to use or would null and void these executive orders, or could it?
Oh, I think it definitely could. I mean, at the highest level, it is unclear if you can use the auto pen at all, even if everything else is above board. DOJ has said you can. A lot of people, including myself, think you can't, that you need a wet signature. I can tell you that President Trump, wet signature for something like a bill or an executive order, and I can tell you President Trump has never auto-penned something like that.
Well, let me do this for you.
Well, that would be a key. That would be a key point to note for a fact. Is it legal to use the auto pen or is it not?
Yeah.
I mean, because the things that we're talking about here, I mean, if this is going to become a story, and they're going to do all this investigation to the bottom of this, if there's nothing in the end, I mean, I guess bringing it to the American people, if you can bring something definitive to them, at this point, I guess maybe it means something. But if we're going to do all this and we're not going to get to the crux of some of the real, like that kind of a question, whether it's, I mean, is there illegality here where things he signed, like these pardons, could be reversed? You know, we've talked about these pardons, and of course, my contention has been that the pardon power of the president is pretty plenary, and you're never going to be able to touch it. But now something like this, I think, brings maybe a different look at it. But we would need to know that kind of a question. I don't think that kind of a question can be left up in the air. Is the auto pen legal? Or does the president have to wet signature things like bills, pardons, other legislation, proclamation? I mean, what is actually the law? What does the DOJ actually say? Is there a policy from the DOJ here that we would need to know?
We put this together for you, okay? So this is President Trump. We know this isn't an auto pen. Roll it, guys. All right, so this is him literally. I thought it was going to be a little bit different, but this is him literally going through a whole bunch of different, not quite as dramatic as I thought I was going to be, but that's him going through executive order after executive order. Clearly not an auto pen. So
no,
if you figure out that this was an auto pen, what is the next step? Are the pardons null and void? Do we just, one simple way would be to ask Joe Biden directly and say, did you sign these or not?
He won't even remember he was president.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I think, that certainly could be on the table. I know there's been a request by the Attorney General of Missouri, Andrew Bailey, to the DOJ to investigate, and they could ask that question. I mean, I think if it was auto pen without Biden knowing, it is clearly invalid. And I think there are a lot of people who agree with me that even if it was auto pen with his knowledge or some variation of the knowledge, I know it's about natural gas, I don't know what else is in it, that it would also be invalid. And because the signature is an essential element of the act, be it in terms of legislation or be it in terms of the executive order, the legal theory is it's not just a routine ministerial act. It's significant. And that makes sense. I mean, let's get at the core of this. The core of this is the president actually competent in making his decisions? That's why there's the signature requirement. It's not something old anachronistic. And this happened before. I mean, when Woodrow Wilson was incapacitated at the end of his presidency, those around him dramatically downsized the presidency to cover it up. But there were a few orders that were signed by his wife. And that created legal headaches.
Slick, that's exactly what you said the other night.
Yep.
His wife signed some of this.
Yep, Jill.
That's good, Aaron. That's a great piece there by Grant tackling this. We've been talking about it for 2 nights as well. And I have to tell you, I think there's probably something here. I don't know that we're going to be able to prove it or get to it, or anyone's going to be able to. I don't think Biden's. I don't know that he's going to be any useful. At all. He probably doesn't remember he was president at this point. He'd probably say, "What are you talking about?" He doesn't even know. Yeah. But I'll tell you, if you put a gun to my head and said, "Which one do you think it is?" I think that he probably didn't sign a lot of this stuff. Probably didn't even know what was going on. And they probably did auto-pen it. And they probably lied to him about what it was. And they probably made decisions without him knowing. So the legal part of it, if that was somehow you could ever prove that, which I don't know how you could, without subpoenaing people, put them under oath, and even still, I don't know how you would get to that, a definitive answer, to be able to say this stuff is null and void. Specifically, the pardons. Think about everything that Biden. You think about some of the last months of the Biden administration. And what could be on the table here if this case was to ever gather any steam or get enough smoke where people started to say, well, clearly where there's smoke, there's fire here. I think there's probably already enough. But I don't know how much interest does people have an interest in this story? I mean, maybe because of the pardons, because of the protection of his son and the protection of his family. Maybe in the pardons people have an interest in. I don't know. What do people have an interest in? Would people have an interest in knowing?
You know what? Can I just say something?
Yeah, please.
Whenever a bad cop gets busted, they go back to every one of his arrests, and many of those convictions will be overturned. This just happened in New York. 50-some criminals went free because one bad cop did something he shouldn't have done. Now, if the president is signing things or not signing things that he should be signing, I think that would be the exact same thing. It's almost like forging documents to get what you want.
It is. Someone just said in the chat, it's like forgery. It is forgery.
Yeah. I think absolutely.
And I'll bet you they lied to him too. Yeah. I'll bet you had no idea if they were auto-penning these things, what they were actually auto-penning.
Yep.
They probably told him, "Oh, it's a proclamation to say Tuesdays is going to be a day that ends in Y." Okay. Sure ahead. Go auto-pen.
We're going to spring ahead permanently.
And it was, who knows what it was.
Daylight savings time forever.
I mean, who knows? When you have it's like these, your parents, or you have grandparents or parents who get so old and the kids try to take advantage of the will, and they have them holding their hand, signing stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, I've heard of that.
Signing stuff. You hear these horror stories. Yeah. I mean, this could be a horror story for the American people, unfortunately, this time, especially when it comes to those pardons. But I don't know. I think that story has legs. I just don't know if there's the will to see it through or the ability to see it through to any kind of a reasonable ending. But I think it's certainly worth talking about. Good for Grant for covering it, and good for Heritage for taking an interest in it, and for Attorney General Bailey of Missouri taking an interest in it. And I don't know what the Oversight Committee is going to do from here, or, again, what more definitively they can come up with. But, man, I'll bet dollars to donuts there's smoke in that smoke where there's, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you know what? Mad Bomb shouts to Mr. Bailey. He's been a fly in Biden's ointment a number of times now. He gets it. He sees what's going on, and he's not afraid to stand up and say, "Hey, we need to look into this." And he's right. We all know the Bidens are filthy, and someone has to be punished. You have to be punished. I don't know if you guys heard. It's its own story, but Kash Patel, I believe, found the two people leaking where ICE was going to do their raids.
Oh, yeah. Heard about
and now those people are they're looking at a prosecution. They're not letting them go, and that's how you fix this.
Well, they're going to make the recommendations to the Department of Justice, and Pam Bondi will have to make that decision, and I suspect I know what her decision is going to be. All right, we're back. A little more sports news with Kevin Downey Jr. right after this.
Right. Chat. What's going on with the chat, Big D? Come on. Anybody there? Anybody home?
They're always there, even when we're not.
Melanie Ross is weighing in from YouTube, Big D. Galena, AFB is super remote. Most of the time, GIs have to lay out large sheets of metal on snow so planes can land. No landings, no supplies, no food. That's a rough place for an Iditarod, Big D.
Yeah.
Come on.
I almost went dog sledding when I was in Alaska.
Did you really?
Yeah, but the guy said, here's the one thing.
He said you were a
fall
mush?
off of
Did he
this-
say you were a mush?
He said, if you fall off of this, the dogs will never come home. They'll go into the woods and they'll freeze to death.
That'd be tough sledding. That's for sure.
So I was like, I can't be responsible.
No. Barking up the wrong tree on that one. You got some barbecue ribs going on, Kevin? Kate. Oh, yeah, Transmabob is a classic.
Transmabob.
Yep. That's even better than the pink commies.
Yeah.
It's funny how they were all wearing pink the other night. Did you pick up on that?
Yeah, after voting to allow men to
Yeah.
slaughter women in sports.
What is that, the Rockford Files you're singing?
No, that's that song he plays.
Yeah, I just brain-normed him with it.
It sounds like the Rockford Files. The theme song.
That's
from
the way
that
I
show.
hear it in my head. I don't know why I know it sounds ridiculous, but what am I doing here?
2 reads.
2 reads in 20 seconds.
Well, I can't even find them.
What do we have tonight, Fran?
Patriot Mobile and Birch Gold.
Oh, you know those by heart.
Birch Gold.
Yeah, John Philip Patrick.
Sound like the blues on a Friday. While we may have won this election, the fight to restore our great nation is only beginning. Now is the time to take a stand. Patriot Mobile is leading the charge. As America's only Christian conservative wireless provider, Patriot Mobile offers a way to vote with your wallet without compromising on quality or convenience. Patriot Mobile isn't just about providing exceptional cell phone service. It's a call to action to defend our rights and our freedoms. With Patriot Mobile, you'll get outstanding nationwide coverage because they operate on all 3 of the major networks. If you have cell phone service today, you can get cell phone service with Patriot Mobile. Plus, you can get a coverage guarantee. Of course, the difference is every dollar you spend with Patriot Mobile supports the First and Second Amendments, the sanctity of life, and our veterans and first responders. Switching is easy. Keep your number, keep your phone, or you can upgrade. They have a 100% U.S.-based customer support team that will help you find the perfect plan. So right now, go over to patriotmobile.com/RAV. Patriot Mobile, all one word, patriotmobile.com/RAV. Or call 972-PATRIOT and get a free month of service. A free month. If you have a cell phone service, you know what that's worth. Get a free month of service with promo code RAV. Switch to Patriot Mobile today. Defend freedom with every call and text that you make. Visit patriotmobile.com/RAV or call 972-PATRIOT. Well, let me talk to you about our friends at Birch Gold. You don't buy a life jacket when the boat is already sinking. Oh, no, you don't. And you don't buy gold when the economy is already collapsed. Clearly, others are heeding this advice as gold has hit all-time highs in the first part of 2025, and it's not too late for you to start taking a look at gold. The company you should trust, of course, is Birch Gold. That's the company you can buy your gold from. Birch Gold specializes in helping you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold for no money out of pocket? Just listen to this 5-star review. Quote, knowledgeable, helpful, no pressure, end quote. That's what you get with Birch Gold, and that's why Rav has been proud to endorse them for so long. Get your free information kit on gold right now by texting the word America to the number 989898. There's no obligation, just useful information. They have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, countless 5-star reviews. Text America to 989898 and let the experts at Birch Gold help you secure your future today. Text the word America to 989898 and get that information kit you see right there. The Birch Gold Information Kit, absolutely free. Text America to 989898 and do it, well, right now. All right, 20 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night. Hope you got great plans for the weekend, everybody, whatever you're doing. I hope you have a good time. Spend it with family, get some downtime. Hope the weather's nice wherever you are. I think it's going to be a little windy in New York. It's windy.
Little windy.
Cold and windy.
42 miles an hour today.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I had to fix my fence because it was blown off.
I had to chase my hair down through the parking lot today. Talking about
Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, MyPillow. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Slickster's got it. What's going on?
All right, Big D, we got rodeo on a Friday night.
Go to the rodeo.
Big one. Rodeo Houston, Big D, NRG Stadium. This is the real McCoy here, bareback riding. These are all Super Series 1 third round. Follow me here. Waylon Bergeau's 87 points on bareback on Rocky Mountain Rodeo's Stomper. We had steer wrestling, Tanner Bruner, 4.5 seconds. Good time there. Team roping, Tanner Tomlinson and Travis Graves, 4.3 seconds. Saddle bronc, Riggin Smith, 86 points on the Servio Brothers Steak Sauce. Like that name right there. Tie down roping, Cash Hooper, 8.7 seconds. Barrel racing, Lisa Lockhart, locking it down, 14.35 tenths. And bull riding, third round, TJ Gray, 85.5 points on Survey Championship Rodeos Broken Dreams. He picked up $3,000 total payoff, $180,000. So we'll have another update on Monday. This rodeo is running right through the 24th of March. So we're going to be pretty much with us the whole month. We'll keep track of that. That's Rodeo Houston. Get to a couple of quick stories here, Big D, if I may. And let's talk about Stephen A. Smith, right? We talked about that a little bit earlier.
Boy, Stephen A. is finding a way to do some political rant seemingly every day now.
Well, he might be running for president. He might be the Democratic choice coming up in a couple of years. Come on now, Big D. How crazy you think? Hey, listen, they're going to run Kamala. I mean, is that much worse?
Come on.
Let's be honest. All right. Stephen A. Smith says Bronny James was the subject of tense confrontation with LeBron. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. Stephen A. may be or may not be considering a presidential run. However, after Thursday night's tense confrontation with LeBron James, he won't get an endorsement from the NBA superstar. Smith sat courtside for the Lakers showdown with the Knicks in Los Angeles, but what ended up getting more headlines in the game was his exchange in which a visibly angered James confronted and then walked away. That was LeBron James coming up to me unexpectedly, I might add, to confront me about making sure I mind what I say about his son, Smith said on First Take. Can't repeat the words because they ain't suited for the FCC airwaves.
I mean, that's crazy.
That's what he was doing. And I thought long and hard about this over the last few hours because I had no intention on talking about this at all. Smith continued, and the reason was because it was a one-on-one. I wouldn't say it was a conversation, but it was a one-on-one confrontation. But then I wake up and everybody from ESPN, my agent, and everybody else sending me this thing had gone viral. So ultimately it was unavoidable, and that's why I have to discuss it now. That wasn't a basketball player confronting me. That was a parent, and that was a father. I can't sit here and be angry or feel slighted by LeBron James, even though his son does things.
I mean, listen, I get the fatherly part of it. I get that. But the father pushed for the son, who everybody recognized did not deserve to be there, was not ready, did not have the qualifications, did not have the talent. Everybody knows he's there because you're his dad. So you can't have it both ways, no. It would seem to me.
I agree.
You can't get out there and just silently act as if he got there on his own accord, which everybody knows he didn't. Everybody who watches him play knows he doesn't deserve to be there.
No, he's not even CBA material. And then
complain when the media, whose job it is to report on the NBA, says, he does not stack up as an NBA player right now.
No.
I mean, again, unless Stephen A. said something very specific, maybe I don't know what he said, but if it's just like stop talking bad about him, like, sorry, that comes with the territory, pal.
I agree. Yeah. No, you're right. Like I said, I don't think his son could qualify for a minor league basketball team. He just wasn't. It was an NBA talent, not at that level, But yeah, his dad brought him along. So you got to be, you got to take this. You have to have a thick skin. Let's put it that way. When you're in the NBA, whether it's family or what have you, more often than not, the sons, generally can't quite follow in the father's footsteps. I mean, there's been plenty of exceptions, but this was an extreme
especially
difference.
This footstep. I mean, it's one of the greatest. He's one of the greatest. Maybe the greatest. People argue he's the greatest, if not number 2, number 3.
Right.
I mean, top 3 for sure.
I mean, look at Michael Jordan, right? His sons, they had big promise, and his son got arrested the other day in his Lamborghini pickup, trying to get across a railroad track in his SUV. So, it's very hard to repeat what your dad did. And with 2 minutes to go, Big D, I throw it back to you. That's a wrap in sports.
All right, Slick, 25 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do, you got a quick story here, Kev, you can do right now, and then we'll do some news when we get back if you got anything quick.
I do. People are asking about Gene Hackman.
Oh, yeah. What's the update on that? That's a terrible story.
It's
terrible.
brutal.
Sounds so convoluted.
So Gene Hackman had advanced, what do you call it, when you can't remember stuff?
Dementia,
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's, thank you. He had advanced Alzheimer's. Looks like his wife died a week before he did. She had something called hantavirus, which is spread by rats somehow. And I'm assuming other rodents, maybe. We haven't heard anything about that. Maybe they had mice. I don't know. But she picked up hantavirus, rare flu-like disease. And what that does is it fills your lungs with liquid faster than you think it's going to. You think you have a flu, then you think you have a bad flu, and then maybe you don't get up. And that's what happened. Gene Hackman was not dehydrated when they found him, but he had no food in his stomach. He outlived his wife by 1 week, they believe.
Wow.
Oof.
And they don't even know if he knew she was gone.
Yeah.
Ugh.
He was very reclusive towards the end there, really out of it.
All right, we'll do some news with KDJ. I got a couple other things as well. Maybe some video of the president from the Oval Office yesterday that we didn't get to. All when we get back, live from Studio 6B.
Was he in Willard?
I don't know.
Remember that movie Willard?
No.
About the kid who owns a bunch of rats. Oh, you know what? Stephen A. Smith. Isn't he the one that buzzsaw Joy Behar the other day? She goes, Trump didn't win in a mandate. And is that the same guy?
Yeah, he put her in a body bag on her own show.
Yeah.
He's been very outspoken.
Yeah, ESPN. Yeah.
He was actually right. He was spot on there. I mean, he just totally took them to task.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, he's definitely more of the moderate Democrat. That's what he comes from. That that era. That group there, more or less. Stephen A. But I couldn't possibly see that guy being serious for a presidential candidate.
Is that what he's auditioning for?
Aaron, what do we have that we didn't play yesterday of Trump?
So desperate.
Yeah.
Oh, super chats.
I don't know.
You got to go to the YouTube. So the YouTube, our show is on YouTube. There's a live chat there.
Yeah, I don't think any of that really works tonight. Yeah, the Elon and Cutting thing would work. Okay. No.
Jordan Bach sent me a text.
Me too.
He sent to
Him in
you?
a video.
Oh, we could do that.
What was that all about?
He said something. People started cheating. I was wondering, it's like he didn't just send this.
Oh.
Yeah, he sent it.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night. Glad you're in, everybody. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope you've had a great week. Of course, we always appreciate you giving us a few moments each and every night. Slick's doing sports. KDJ is here tonight doing a little extra duty because Delgado is off the Pluto. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. So I'll be interested to get the update from Delgado, how his night was, to be serious.
Oh, yeah.
Slick.
Sure.
It actually looked like it would be very interesting, I have to say.
Really?
Even for someone who's not into that as much as Delgado obviously is into it, I bet they tell some wild stories of things they whatever, you know?
I bet you wouldn't pay to go to see that.
Well, no, I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't pay to go see it, but he didn't pay to go see it either.
Of course he didn't.
Hey, Otto just gifted 5 memberships on the YouTube. We really appreciate that.
Thank you, Otto.
Chris Allen received one. Aaron Cook received one. Barry Rowe received one. Patrick Morrissey received one. So we appreciate the gifting of subs as we try to grow to YouTube. Thank you to everybody who gifts subs. We'll really appreciate that. Let's do some news. And here with that is Kevin Downey Jr. He's the host of the Kevin Downey Jr. Show. What's going on, my friend?
Thank you, sir. This one, I'm going to leave it up to you boys to see what happened here. This is China. Headline, woman facing lawsuit after subjecting soon-to-be fiancé to 3-hour simulated childbirth that killed his intestinal tissue. What? I'm not kidding. And she says, my boyfriend started to feel miserable after 3 hours. He went to level 8, and he couldn't stop cursing by level 10. This is a 3-hour thing. At level 12, he was sweating and breathing rapidly due to severe pain. By the end of the experience, he was completely exhausted, and his stomach was hard as a board. Now, during the commercials, I went to see what this childbirth simulator looks like. All I'm going to say, it comes with little tiny plastic babies. Were these babies put somewhere so that he could really simulate childbirth?
Oh, dear.
I don't know. But he stuck with it for 3 hours. He canceled the wedding. He's suing her. She's looking at a potential 3 years in prison. I don't see how. Because if my fiance said to me, hey, I want you to put a plastic baby in your bahookie for 3 hours, and we're going to turn these knobs up to 12. You know, like this simulator goes to 12, not 10. It's going to hurt your bahookie a bit more. No, we would not be getting married. So this guy, he's got, it's called necrosis. That means his smaller intestine, which means they had to go through the large one to get there, has some necrosis, which means
Sounds more like the crosshairs.
So, but here's my favorite part. He started to feel miserable at level 8, but they kept going.
Was this in the New York Times, or was this from?
This is from
the Wingding Gazette.
This is from lawyerherald.com.
Oh, okay.
They go with bizarre lawsuits and what?
I didn't visit there today, so okay. Thanks for bringing me up to speed.
You didn't land your plane there. Oh, man.
Okay, very good.
And, as if you want
what follows that, Kev, I wonder?
Anything else?
Funny you should ask. What follows that is reincarnated Hitler.
Oh.
Yeah, Utah man who pledged to pull off a mass killing said he was Adolf Hitler reincarnated. He's a former military cadet who happened to be kicked out of the service for psychological reasons. It's Adolf Ramirez here, 23. It's actually Lewis. I'll call him Adolf because he's been reincarnated. And in big letters, you know, his little going away speech or whatever, he wrote, "The Jews killed me in my past life. If you try to kill me again today in New York City when I pull up to Shabbat, I will kill you first.
Oh, boy.
And then he goes, I will be visiting my brothers and sister in New York City tomorrow. Pull up to Shabbat at the Central Synagogue, 6 p.m. So he was showing up to kill Jewish people, firmly believing that he's Hitler reincarnated and he was killed by Jews, forgetting somehow Hitler killed himself, you idiot. Nice try. So he was in the Virginia Military Institute and got the boot for psychological reasons that the New York Post did not get into. Other than thinking he's Hitler reincarnated, I don't see what other problem there could be.
Yeah. All right, we'll do some more news here in a second. I do want to revisit the president yesterday in the Oval Office because I noticed today the reporters were all over the president about what's going on between him and Rubio, between him and Elon, between Rubio and Elon, between Doge and Elon, and who has all the department heads and who has the power and who's doing this. And they're just looking to create any kind of tension they can. And of course, Trump handles them all like a boss and says, first of all, it's none of your business. What are you even asking me that for? And there's no tension at all. This is really what I'm trying to do. And he talked about this in the Oval Office. Roll that, Aaron.
You spoke today with your cabinet members and Elon Musk.
I did.
What did you tell them in regards to Elon Musk and his authorities to carry out actions?
We had a great meeting. We had Elon and we had some of the representatives for the business reps. We also had most of the cabinet members, not all of them. It doesn't really pertain to all of them, but many of them. And I thought it was a really good meeting. It was about cutting because everybody knows the country's way out of control in terms of the number of people. We have many people that don't work. We have many people probably that aren't even living that are getting checks. And we're finding all of that out, and it's being reported. We're going to save hundreds of billions of dollars. We've already saved a lot. And parts of it are contracts that are expired that we're paying on. Many crazy things that you can see it happening. It shouldn't happen, but you can see it happening. You see a lot of it being put out. But the other thing I think most important for today, I want the cabinet members to keep good people. I don't want to see a big cut where a lot of good people are cut. I want the cabinet members to keep the good people, and the people that aren't doing a good job, that are unreliable, don't show up to work, etc., those people can be cut. So I had a meeting. And I said, I want the cabinet members go first, keep all the people you want, everybody that you need. And it would be better if they were there for 2 years instead of 2 weeks, because in 2 years they'll know the people better. But I want them to do the best job they can. When we have good people, that's precious, that's very important, and we want them to keep the good people. And so we're going to be watching them, and Elon and the group are going to be watching them. And if they can cut, it's better. And if they don't cut, then Elon will do the cutting.
So, Mr. President, is that a reflection that you think Doge and Elon Musk have been moving too quickly?
No, I think they've done an amazing job. They've done an amazing job, and look at what they found. I read it the other night in the speech. I mean, they found these things where billions of dollars has been poured down the drain to things. That's not about people. That's about contracts where billions and billions of dollars was just thrown out the window. It probably got kickbacks. I'm sure there were tremendous kickbacks for the people that authorized those contracts. But no, Elon has been really teaching everybody about the numbers that you can do. But what I want the numbers, but I also want to keep the good people. We want to get rid of the people that aren't working, that aren't showing up, and have a lot of problems. And so they're working together with Elon. And I think we're doing a really great job. We're cutting it down. We have to for the sake of our country. You can't have that kind of fat. It's bloat, and like nobody's ever seen before. Where you need 20,000 and they have 120,000 people, and you just don't need that many. And it happens with companies, and it happens with governments. I guess you could go to a lot of governments, you'd see the same thing. But we're trying to get it down. We want to be able, next year, we could balance the budget. I think there's a good chance we could balance the budget next year. We have a lot of good things happening. Plus, we have a lot of revenue things happening, like today with the shipbuilding. And this gentleman behind me is going to create a lot of jobs. And he's about the biggest there is in the world. We had the biggest chip maker in the world here a few days ago. He's going to be spending $200 billion on building plants. We're not giving them any money to build it either. It's not, that chip act is ridiculous, where the Biden thing where they give billions of dollars to people that have nothing but money. They're not going to spend that money. They're just taking that money. We're giving nothing. They're coming in because of the tariffs, because they don't want to pay the tariffs, and they're opening up big. So, but with respect to people, I said, I want to cut the people, but I want to keep the good people.
Yeah. It just totally makes sense. Totally. Media's trying to make something that's just not there, of course. Trying to create tension where there's not tension. And, when you have people who are utterly brilliant and extremely competent, they deal with each other in a way. I'm sure Elon and Trump deal with each other where just a normal person might think, oh, geez, these guys don't like each other. There's tension. No. That's what business people do. That's how they get things done. These are serious people dealing with serious issues and serious problems and trying to find serious solutions. Yeah. It's not all fun and games, but it doesn't mean that there's some kind of, everybody just can't wait to make it out that all the blooms are off the rose now between Elon and Trump. Boy, it's all going downhill. And I don't think that's going to happen. They jumped on Air Force One today to head down to Florida together. I mean, they are serious about turning this country around. The two of them, and everybody who's around Trump, Bessent and all of them. And Scott Bessent's got one hell of a job in front of him, I'll tell you that, after with the mess he's been left there at Treasury. And again, I don't think we're going to know how bad it is until probably into the summer of this year. And I think the mess that Biden left them as far as unemployment ticked up today a little bit, 4.1 today. But you look at that Atlanta real GDP percentage, it's gone from plus 2.8 to now negative 2.5 for the first quarter. And that's supposed to be like in real time, what they think the underlying economy is doing. So, I mean, I think Trump and Bessent have a long road to hoe. And their relationship with the Federal Reserve Chairman, we have yet to really see what's going to come of that. But he's going to be in no hurry to lower rates. And I suspect the president and Scott Bessent are not necessarily, I would think, going to be on the same page. Maybe they will be for now. Because the last thing they want is to see inflation spike up again. But they do not want to see 2 negative quarters of growth and be in a real official recession come July, August of this year. And they certainly don't want it lasting anytime into next year because they will take the brunt of the blame, even though they probably have none of the blame in reality. And of course, as we've talked about yesterday, the Republicans have a lot of work to do in front of them as far as with the budget.
Yeah, that's going to be, he said they can hope to balance the budget.
Reconciliation. Yeah, that's what he says.
It's going to be tough. I pray for him. I hope he does.
And I listened to Chip Roy tonight, and I listened to others. But we've talked about this last night. I just want to play just a second of Thomas Massey last night here, very quickly with Daniel Horowitz.
The CR that's about to happen. Let's remember the funding deadline for Congress is always September 30th. If we have one job, it's to decide which checks to write and where to send them and how much they should be for. And that's the due date is September 30th. But Congress is always surprised by September 30th. That's like a florist being surprised by Valentine's Day. It's the same day every year. If you miss the deadline next year, let's get ready a little bit sooner. But here's what happened last September 30th. We kicked the can down the road because people didn't want it to interfere with the elections. There's always an excuse to not do your homework. Well, then the funding expired. Instead of September 30th, it expired in December. Well, guess what? We swept the elections. And what they decided was, well, let's wait until March when Trump's got his feet under him in the Oval Office. We've got Senate Majority Leader who's Republican and Republicans in the House.
Okay, we'll hold it right there and we'll finish it when we get back. We'll wrap it up for another great week live from Studio 6B right after this.
I want to thank KT Frog 2760 on Rumble
Nice.
for becoming a monthly supporter and gifting 10 subs to other
you can give
members.
subs on Rumble too?
Yes, you can.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you to anybody gifting subs on Rumble. I didn't realize you could do that there too. Thank you very much. It's a great way to support the show.
That is.
I think I have 20 now as the channel owner. I think on YouTube, I think I can gift. I wonder if I can gift on Rumble too.
Oh.
I'll have to check that out. Should I do mine tonight? By the way, if you haven't signed up for 6B Front Row, the loyalty program, do it. I'm going to give...
Why don't you explain about that?
Well, it's just a loyalty program. You know, you do certain things, you earn points, and you can turn the points into dollars on the store.
Showing up 5 nights in a row, earn us points in Front Row here?
I've given points away now twice this week. I'm going to do probably more tonight.
Really cool.
When I get home.
Bonuses. Never stop.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B. We'll wrap it up for a Friday night. Glad you've been a part of the show. As always, Real America's Voice and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio. I just want to finish this. Daniel Horowitz yesterday on his Conservative Review podcast had Thomas Massey on discussing the CR and how insane it's going to be if we pass a clean CR. And what basically that whole copy-paste from last year's budget will mean. So here's the rest of that clip.
And they spent another $200 billion, but we're like, look, next time Trump's going to be in there, that's the real cuts.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, let's kick this can down the road to March. And here we are. It's March. March 14th is the deadline. By the way, the Democrats have a retreat on March 13th and 14th. They'll be partying. So, I mean, it seems like there's a crisis looming, but they've got a party scheduled. It starts a day before the shutdown. So we're going to, I don't think they're really that worried about this deadline. I think they're pretty sure that Republicans are going to completely cave, not on the deadline, but maybe a day or two early. And so what does it mean to cave? Well, we said if we kick the can down the road to March 14th, then at that point we could do some appropriations. Instead of a CR, we would do appropriations bills that reflected the agenda, the mandate that Trump and Congress got in the election. But now they're talking about a clean CR. That means to just cut, copy, paste last year's budget and do all the same stuff we were doing before Trump got elected. And that'll probably, I'd imagine every Democrat's going to vote for that. And because they're relying on Democrat votes, they're saying we can't even cut the crazy USAID stuff that's been found in the budget by DOJ.
You're saying that's not going to be in the CR?
No.
USAID will be funded at Biden levels.
Yes, that's the discussion that's happening here. Not just USAID, but any crazy thing that DOJ has found wasn't, for the most part, were appropriations. They weren't the mandatory spending. They were discretionary spending, grants and whatnot. USAID falls under that category. Is going to get funded again on March 14th. The CR.
There you go. Can you imagine USAID, after everything we have seen, getting funded again on March 14th if they do cut, copy, paste on a clean, basically what a clean CR would be from last year's budget? How would you possibly make sense of that? And I hear Chip Roy on with Steve Bannon today talking about, and let's just play this so everybody can understand this new position that we're taking. That no, don't worry. President Trump and Besson are going to claw back money. They're not going to spend all that gets appropriated. Here's that.
Hang on. Hang on. I see your logic. You're saying you don't need to attach to the CR.
Yeah.
Pass a clean CR. The president has the inherent power in the unified executive theory that he's the chief executive of the U.S. government. When Elon gets more definitive about what it is, and if it's 50 billion or 100 billion, whatever the number is, that Russ can go to the president and say, this is waste, fraud, and abuse that we found, right? And the president then can make a decision to impound that money immediately. And then, of course, they'll take you to court immediately, but you fight it out at that point. But you're saying you don't need that in a CR. The president has the inherent power, and that Russ vote's going to be on point. Is that how that's how the concept of people ought to be thinking of?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it any better. You just outlined it perfectly. In fact, I'm going to grab that clip and use it for my colleagues.
Okay, so that's the theory. The key sentence in there is they're going to take you to court immediately. Has anybody noticed what's been going on in the courts? Is that really where we want to rely on?
Oof.
I mean, I don't know. I mean...
That's risky.
Seems crazy to me. But, all right, let's do some sports, and we'll do some news and wrap it up. Slick's Got Sports, brought to you by Mike Lindell. What's going on, Slickster?
All right, Big D, one more sweep of the scoreboard for the night. Purdue right now, 71-70 over Illinois. NCAA men's basketball, 5 to go there in the second. 1:48 to go in the first. South Florida over Memphis, 31-29. Finals from earlier tonight. Belmont downs in Illinois State, 76-63. 85-84 in a good one. South Dakota over North Dakota State. And Bradley beats Murray State, 70-62. NHL Utah Hockey Club blanking the Blackhawks 1-0, 12 to go there in the second. Final tonight, Jets bomb the Devils 6-1, and the Capitals 5-2 over the Red Wings. Not a good win. They came back and scored 4 unanswered there, Kevin. Your Red Wings went down. And we got a little golf today too, Big D. Golf action. We got the Arnold Palmer Invitational right now. Palmer's Bay Hill and Club in Orlando, Florida. Shane Lowry shot an 8 under today, leads everyone, so that was a good one. And then we got we'll go get on the ladies' PGA Blue Bay LPGA. Let's go round 3 right now. This is the Wan Lake Blue Bay Golf Course, Hainan Island, wherever that is. I'm not sure where that is. I'll have to look up my geology there. But Nasa Hatatoka and also Cassie Porter both shot a 7 under today in the LPGA. Like that one?
Yeah, no, it's good.
I got to get on that, Big D. I got one quick story, though, with the president. Trump administration finds Maine Title athlete policy in violation of Title IX. This is Warner Todd Houston of Breitbart. I threw in the Bob, Kevin, for you.
Thank you.
The Trump administration has now formally determined that Maine is in violation of federal Title IX rules with his refusal to abide by the ban on transgender athletes playing in girls' sports. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office for Civil Rights has sent a letter to Maine Attorney General Aaron Frey to inform Maine officials that the state's Education Department has violated the rules and that a compliance review is now underway, WMTW-TV reported. The February 25th letter states that Maine violates Title IX by denying female student athletes in the state of Maine an equal opportunity to participate in and obtain the benefits of participation in any interscholastic, intercollegiate, or club or intramural athletics offered by the state by allowing male athletes to compete against female athletes in current and future athletic support events. State officials have not commented on the letter, of course not, but we will see. Of course, we know Maine Governor Janet Mills made a point of verbally attacking President Trump during a meeting of state governors at the White House in February after Trump warned Mills that she had better comply with Title IX rules on transgender athletes. Mills scoffed, "See you in court," as she threatened legal action against the president's rule changes. So we'll see where this goes, Big D, but President is laying down the hammer on Maine and letting them know they're in violation. They'll get no Fed funds. That's what will happen.
All right, Slick, very good. Let's do a little more news with Kevin Downey Jr. before we wrap it up. What else is up, KDJ?
Well, I'll tell you, Big D, the DOJ is investigating the price of eggs. They're looking for a price-fixing scheme.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the first one that this industry has had. Check this out, though, from January 2024 to January 2025, eggs went up 53% in 1 year. And if you want to go back farther, there's a 139% increase from October 23, when it was only $2.07 for a dozen. Now it's way up there, 139%. DOJ is looking at a couple of people. Oddly enough, they're not looking at Joe Biden yet for slaughtering a bunch of chickens, and that's where I think he should be looking. But this has happened before. As I said, 2023, it's a company called Cal Maine Rose Acre Farms got busted fiddling with the price, and they asked for a new trial, but they said as of right now, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen with that. But the DOJ is looking into it, see if there's price fixing, because 139% in 2.5 years is insane. Nothing goes up 139% in 2 years. Now, there is more good news. Kash Patel announced some spies have been caught, literally in our military. Did you hear about that?
Yes. Holy
moly! U.S. Army soldiers selling intel to China, selling it to China. Now, this is important. Patel has found some people. Pam Bondi, as you said earlier, recommending charges against some people there. Finally, action being taken.
Yeah, and we're about 10 days away from Dan Bongino joining the team. 10 days away from Bongino being there. So, as always, we salute our military, active and active police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, everybody on the front lines. Thanks, guys, on the show. Aaron Frank, great job as always. Most of all, thank you, live from Studio 6B audience. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you Monday night, 8 o'clock, right here, live from Studio 6B.